Huh. Oh, that's right. We're going to take a look at practice amps today. Howdy folks, thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome to the channel. I am glad you are here because today I'd like to talk a little bit about practice amps. And yeah, I know it's not really a sexy subject. It's not something super exciting, but let's face it. If you're going to play guitar, if you're going to get anywhere playing guitar, you got to practice. That's a given. If you're an acoustic guitar player, well, you're good. All you need is your acoustic guitar. However, if you're an electric guitar player, you're going to want to be able to amplify yourself in one way, shape, or form. Now, how you do that, well, that depends on what your specific needs are, whether you can crank it up, whether you need to keep it soft, whether you need to keep it silent. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the options. I looked around what I have and realized that I've got a few of those options myself. So let's take a look. Now, traditionally, when I think of a practice amp, I'm thinking about something more along the lines of this. This is my orange Crush 10. See if it'll focus on that. Yeah, this is it. I've had this for quite a while. I think I may have bought this in 2006, 2007 on a trip up to Brooklyn, small shop up in Brooklyn. I found this and it occurred to me that at the time, all I really had for an amp was a Marshall JCM 900, which is really loud. And practicing, well, the neighbors don't want to hear me practice. Quite frankly, Miss Grumpy doesn't want to hear me practice. And I realized I needed something small like this. And even though it's solid state, I needed a little practice amp. So I bought this. And for many years, that's the function this served. And it's good because even in the middle of the night, and, it's one thing at, say, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening, you can have it up a little bit. But at 1 or 2 in the morning, yeah, you want to be pretty silent. So it does come with, oh wait, that's the input. The phone jack is over here. You hook your headphones into it, you're totally silent. And it's a great little practice amp. Now, over the past few years, this has actually kind of moved into my shop, over in my little shop. Anytime I do any work on a guitar, I test it on this thing, and it's served quite well in that capacity too. But then again, I'm a tube snob. I love my tube amps in that solid state. I need my tubes, I do. And at a certain point, I wasn't even thinking about a practice amp. I just, on a whim, bought another little amp, and you've seen it before if you've watched any of my my videos. It's probably made an appearance in all of them there in the background. It's actually right up there. I'm pointing to it right now. It's another orange. It's my orange Micro Dark. It's a 20-watt little tiny lunchbox head, but it's a hybrid. It's got a tube in the preamp, so a little tube snob like myself, I get the feels. I get the satisfaction that there is an actual tube somewhere in the circuit. But it actually does have an advantage over the Orange Crush 10. But I get ahead of myself because really that's a 20-watt head, and hooked through a 412 cabinet, it's really loud. It truly is. It can hold its own. You could play a gig with that little thing. I swear you could. However, at a later date, I bought that little 8-inch speaker cab. It was $100 or so. Not a bad deal, but I bought that and I hooked it up, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is a mighty nice little practice amp. And actually, it sounds pretty good when you mic it up and record it too. But I'm not going to do that right now. The point of this is that with the little 8-inch speaker, it makes a great practice amp. And the advantage that it has over the Orange Crush, not only does it have a speaker or a headphone jack, on the back, it's got an effects loop. So if you've got pedals, you want to hear your pedals when you practice, it's got an effects loop. So that's a plus. It's a step up. There are other options, and maybe not options that I would choose, but I gotta point them out. So let's go to that. Now, for a lot of people, plugging into an amp with a speaker cab, making audible noise, it's just not an option for you. Maybe you're a college student, you're in a dorm, you can't make a whole lot of noise, or maybe you can, I don't know. I haven't been in college in a long time. But maybe you're in an apartment and you've got one of those neighbors. You know what I'm talking about. I've experienced that quite a bit. So I know where you're coming from. So what do? Headphones. Headphones are definitely an option. It's not my favorite option. I'm not a huge fan of headphones. But if it's all you can do, well, you've got something to look at. Not too long ago, I did a review on this, the Donner Multipad 100, and let's not kid ourselves. This is not in any way, shape, or form a piece of pro-level gear. It's cheap. That's what it's got going for it. You're not going to spend a whole lot of money on it. But the truth of the matter is, for practice purposes, this little thing, if I can get it open, it really is not that bad. And here's why I say that. If you watched my video before, you know this, and let me just get a good shot of it. Hopefully it will focus. One thing about this is the fact that you can put batteries in it, so you don't have to have it plugged into the wall. So it's completely mobile. You plug in your guitar right there, and then you plug in headphones right there. Just the same headphones you use with your smartphone, except my smartphone. I have a Galaxy Note that uses, the headphones are USB-C, and that kind of drives me a little nuts, but beside the point. Either way, the reality is, plug your guitar in here, plug headphones into there, use the little clip there, clip it onto your pocket, put a strap on your guitar. You can walk around your house all day long and play through this, practice all you want. You've got a selection of amp emulations. There's a cab emulator in here, cab sims. There's effects in here, so you can dial in a sound that's pleasing to you, and you can practice without driving your family crazy, without driving your neighbors nuts, and just play all you want. And it's cheap. You really can't beat it for the price. And by the way, keep watching the video, because there's something about this particular one you may want to know something about, but I'm saving that for the end of the video. Now, if you have more money, or if for whatever reason you've already bought one, there are other options. And one that I actually have is with my HX Stomp, and I'll hold it up here so you can see it. Hook your guitar in here, hook your headphones into there. You can play silently, and it sounds fantastic. You can dial in any tone you want, and practice all day long with it without bothering a soul. It works. It's an option. And there are other options. I know Fender just released a Mustang headphone guitar amp. I don't know what the actual name is. I know they just released it. It's about twice as much as this. I know that. It's over $100, whereas this is around 50. But it's the same sort of thing. You can practice silently with this. You can clip it in on your belt, totally mobile, walk around the house, play all you want. The point is, there are options where you can practice silently and not disturb those around you. It's not my favorite way to practice at all. I'm not a big fan of playing through headphones, but if that's all you can do, it's certainly a great option, and you should consider one of these. Oh, another one, iRig. Check out iRig. That you can hook it into your smartphone. You can dial in effects and tones, and it works too. So another thing, if that's what you need for your practice regimen. Now, currently these days, what works the best for me, well, there's a couple of things. There's two particular amps that I own, and there's others along the same lines on the market. But what I think is really a game changer when it comes to practice amps, well, let's take a look. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of playing guitar through headphones. It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't get the right feel from it. It may work for you, and I'm not poo-pooing it in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't work for me. However, having the benefits of built-in effects and amp modeling and IRs and stuff like that, that's pretty cool, because let's face it, when you practice, you still want it to sound good. No matter how well you're playing, if your amp sounds like crap, it's just not going to be very motivational to you. And thus, I offer up another couple of amps that I have that I think really bring a whole new aspect to the category of practice amp. And I'm talking about something like the Boss Katana. when I bought it, much like the Micro Dark, I wasn't thinking about using it as a practice amp, but then I realized, sure, it's a 50-watt amp. However, you can attenuate it down to as little as a half a watt, play it at bedroom volumes, and it sounds really good. Plus the added benefit, you've got multiple amp types you can dial in, you've got built-in effects, and you have the all-important headphone out if you need it. Just stick a set of headphones in it, your earbuds, you're good to go. That is a fantastic amp. The Boss Katana, this is the 50-watt Mark II. And even with the 100-watt, actually, if I had it to do all over again, I would have bought the 100-watt head, because again, you can attenuate that down to the lowest setting and play it at bedroom volume. As a matter of fact, it's got little tiny speakers built in, much like the next amp, which is this right here. This is the Positive Grid Spark. This is a whole new ball game. The Positive Grid Spark. Honestly, at least to date, this amp right here may well be the greatest practice amp ever designed by human beings. Aliens may have something better right now, but at this point, I'm telling you folks, there is so much you can do with the Spark. There's an app for your smartphone. You can play backing tracks. It'll create backing tracks. It's got everything you need. It's got all the things that the Katana actually should have. And not to knock the Katana, but if the Katana had all the benefits that the Spark has, it would reign supreme. The benefit that the Katana has over the Spark is that the Katana, even the 50-watt, you can actually take that out to, say, a small club, and you can gig with it. You can't do that with the Spark. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about practice amps. And as far as practice amps go, I don't know of anything else that's going to be much better than this. I mean, look at it. That shot's probably kind of dark. I'm going to bring it back over here. Look at this. You can set it in your living room. It is kind of classy looking. It doesn't stick out as just a piece of guitar gear. It doesn't look a whole lot different from some of the Bluetooth speakers that you may have sitting in your living room already. So it's not a sore thumb. You can have it just about anywhere. And practice is a breeze with this. It sounds pretty good, although and if you watch many of the reviews on the Spark, a lot of people will tell you that it is kind of bass heavy. I'm hoping at a point in the future, maybe there will be a firmware update, some kind of an update that fixes that problem. However, there is a bass knob on it. You can turn that sucker down and tame the bass in it. It sounds pretty good. And that's weird because for something so small with such tiny speakers in it, You wouldn't think it would be bass heavy, but it is. So there's that. Now, if you have a big, say 100-watt amp with a 412 cab, you can certainly use it as a practice amp. And if you buy something like a Captor X from Two Notes, or any kind of attenuator, certainly you can use that amp. You can use anything as a practice amp as long as you can get away with it. Or, as I said in the beginning, you can practice without any amp at all. It's up to you. The reality is, whatever it is that you need to fit your situation, to make practicing easier, more enjoyable, that's what you should look for. If it's something that's going to be a huge hassle, I would tend to stay away from it, because anything that makes practicing more difficult, it's no good. It's not benefiting you. So I've shown you some of the options that I have. I've talked about some others that are out there. You decide for yourself, what is it you need to make your practice regimen work for you? There's a lot of gear. There's a lot of stuff to choose from at a huge range of prices. You've got to decide what works best for you. Hang on, before we go any further, told you towards the front of the video, need to stick around to the end because there's going to be something special. Well, here it is. You remember the Multipad 100? Yeah, this one right here. Well, I'm giving it away. Shh, don't tell Miss Grumpy. Here's the thing though. It's limited to U.S. residents until the shipping nightmare kind of gets straightened out and things get a bit back to normal. I'm just not comfortable with doing international shipping. Hopefully that's going to change soon. I feel bad about it, and hopefully before too long I can include everybody. But that said, U.S. residents, if you're interested in winning this, I'll be happy to ship it out to you. All I need you to do, leave a comment below, whatever, just hashtag Multipad in your comment, and I will take all of those. I'll pull one name out of the hat, and we'll go from there. So if you're interested, everything's here, the box, everything. Just leave a comment below. Hashtag Multipad. And for now, I'll just wrap everything up. I certainly hope you'll take the time to click right down there, subscribe to the channel. I work really hard to make these videos. I don't have a whole lot of spare time. I'm a working man. But when I can, I get these videos out. I hope you enjoy them. Please subscribe, ring the bell so you get the notifications, and by all means, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me what you use for a practice rig, and why. Why does that particular thing work for you? I'm genuinely curious about that. As well as, if you want, go ahead and share. It always helps when you share the video. So I'm just going to stop it there, and nothing else to say, but let's be good. Let's all just be good. Take care.